Hey all, and welcome to Shadow of Space. And we are commenting on another BCP video. This one is called Liberal Black Women Cry Racism Over FBI Raid Against Corrupt Woke Black Democrat Senate President. This was uploaded May 6th. This is being recorded May 7th, and link is in the description.
Yesterday was a victory. But for me, this was personal because I remember exactly where this started. I watched what was happening in Texas. Republican legislators blocked by Donald Trump and MAGA extremists trying to rig
and
the
those
system
MAGA
before
extremists
voters ever had a chance to speak. And I watched those Texas legislators take a stand, even leaving their state to stop that power grab. I stood with them because what was happening in Texas wasn't just about Texas. It was about the rest of the country. And I said right then and right there, clearly, if they start this fight, Virginia is going to finish it.
In this moment, where we have seen America's democracy threatened with erosion, with attack, it hasn't been by the people who built it. And in fact, the people who have been most threatened for its further demise have been the ones who've stepped up and stood in the gap. Whether that's Beanie Thompson on the January 6th committee, whether that's Letitia James as the Attorney General in the state of New York, whether that is Alvin Bragg as the DA.
Oh, so it's all the people who are weaponizing the Justice Department to go after their political opponents. Those are the people that you look up to.
Manhattan, whether that's people like Luis Lucas. It has been people of color who have put themselves on the front line for America's democracy yet again.
The people in the 18th Senatorial District trust me. They saw my commercials. They believe what I was saying.
Your message to voters here right now.
My message to voters here is that they know me and they know when I make a promise that I deliver on my promises. I've been representing this community for 30 years, but I can tell you I'm going to be successful, and the reason is because the people trust me.
A few moments later.
The FBI, we have a warrant. Put out with your hands up, nothing in your hands.
Wow.
SWAT teams in full force told people to come out of that shop with their hands up, arresting at least 3 people today. Sources say this is potentially connected to a corruption probe.
Potentially.
And Senator L. Louise Lucas is the president pro tempore of the Virginia Senate. That makes her one of the most powerful figures in the legislature. I asked her about these raids. This is what she had to say.
I don't know what's going on. I just came from another report, so I'm just gonna wait until they tell me.
I want to talk to you about what's happening a few hours away. Senator Louise Lucas's home, or office rather, was raided by the FBI. At this point, do you stand by the senator, or are you concerned? Because our sources are telling us this is about bribery and corruption.
Well, certainly I am aware of the law enforcement action that occurred in Portsmouth, and I am awaiting more details to become public before weighing in with any strong public comment. And as more information becomes available, I look forward to making further comment.
Right. So we got to talk about a fascinating story that has black liberal women upset, boohoo, whine, and cry, racism, hate, bigotry, right? This is what they always do when they can't get their way. But anyways, the FBI raided the businesses and office of longtime Democratic Virginia state senator from Portsmouth, Miss Louise Lucas, who currently serves as president pro tempore of the Virginia Senate, one of the most powerful positions in that state government. Now, this woman has been in office for 30 plus years, and she has a strong influence over the Democrat Party in Virginia, including a leading role in the recent redistricting issue.
Louise Lucas wrote this on January 16, 2026, and I quote, "I have the utmost respect for Senator Kaine and Senator Warner, but we do not need coaching on redistricting coming from a cuck chair in the corner. How about you all stay focused on the fascists in the White House and let us handle redistricting in Virginia 10-1. What the fuck? Oh my, she said to the senators. These are two incredibly powerful senators, one of which was Hillary Clinton's vice presidential nomination. We don't need coaching from the cuck chair. That's fucking crazy.
Right? So she was basically one of the masterminds behind Virginia trying to overthrow democracy within their state. And she has a lot of private business interests as well, too. Okay, including a cannabis dispensary, and the FBI executed a court-authorized search warrant at her office and at the cannabis dispensary tied to her. Now, this operation is a part of an ongoing federal corruption investigation. Authorities reportedly are looking into potential bribery and corruption and the connections, again, involving the cannabis business. Now, there's been no public charges, no details on specific evidence, no confirmation that Lucas herself is the target versus her business, right? She has not been arrested as of the making of this video, but yet you have liberal black women boohoo, whining, crying, racism, hate, and bigotry because they feel like the administration, once again, is targeting a black woman, as if, black women can't do anything wrong, right? As if they're above the law, which is something that, they don't think for Trump, but they do think that, they do believe that for themselves.
All right, black folks, this is a story that we're going to have to highlight and push ourselves because mainstream media is not going to do that. I turned on MSN Now at the top of the hour as they went through the top stories for the hour. This wasn't even a top story to them, which is crazy to me. This story is a sign of the continued slide into authoritarianism. This president continued to go after people who challenge him, who challenge his authority, and also another attack.
I love when Donald Trump when Mar-a-Lago gets raided, all these people sit here and applaud. Oh yes, we need to be completely transparent with all of our government officials. And then the moment a Democrat government official gets raided, this is an absolute intrusion on people's freedom and their personal space and their privacy.
Black political power. The FBI
It's amazing.
raided the offices of Virginia State Senator Luis Lucas this morning. I'll repeat that. The FBI raided the offices of Virginia State Senator Luis Lucas. And I'm not even mentioning her title. She's actually the president pro temp of the Virginia Senate. And in case you missed it, she was the one who led the plan to redistrict Virginia.
So what? So she's in a position of power that makes her above the law?
Virginia to respond to the scheme in Texas and Florida and Missouri and a number of other red states. She's a black woman who's 82 years old, who got in front of that camera and said, he don't put no fear in my heart. We are going to respond to authoritarianism, to fascism by playing their game. We are going to redraw. First off, we're going to take it to the people. We're going to have the people of Virginia vote. And if they support this, we will draw a new map. And they supported it, and they quickly drew a new map. And these folks don't like it. When you play their game, they don't like it.
So they're going after another black woman. The office of Virginia Senator Louise Lucas has been raided for corruption. Now, this all has to do with redistricting efforts in Virginia. Senator Lucas led the charge to redistrict Virginia to give them extra seats in the House. We already know this has been happening all over the country, starting with Texas. They didn't even give their people a chance to vote. Neither did Louisiana. But after Virginians voted yes for the redistricting, of course, Republicans came in and asked the Supreme Court to block it. And right now, it's in a temporary hold. While all this was happening, Wiggs R Us said it was rigged. But he also knew if Virginia redrew their lines, baby, it was going to be a problem for him because the House would definitely be ours. And he can't let that happen because he knows if it is, he's going to be investigated. So now the FBI is raiding Senator Louise Lucas' office to find what?
Didn't they make it so that the president can't be investigated or whatever when he's in office? I thought that was something they did.
I'm going to say this and y'all take it how y'all want it. White folks cheat because they know they can't win the right way. They've done this for decades. They find ways to use the system so they can stay on top.
And yet you wouldn't even have a district unless they were literally drawn based on racial lines.
Know a fair election would put their asses on the curb. I'm saying white folks because white folks lead the charge on the Republican Party. Majority of them are good old Confederate boys. And the last thing they want to do is see anybody else on top or for minority groups to come together. And that is what's happening during these redistricting votes. And it's making them nervous. Telling y'all during the Civil War, y'all should have handled business.
Oh, I don't know what's going on, but the FBI just raided.
Is that some sort of slight that, like, the slaves should have risen up and, like, killed their slave masters? Is that what she meant by that?
Senator
I have no idea.
Louise Lucas' office, y'all, like, they came in like some roaches. They are all over there, swarm all over her office. But she just let them go on right on in there and got right in her car. The news people walked up to her, was asking her questions. They drove right off. Y'all, something is going on. And allegedly she has like a tobacco shop or something like that where they sell tobacco out of, but possibly it might be something else going down. But they do believe that the orange man has a lot to do with it because he's going after everybody that's not in his political party. He's going after all the Democrats. The other day he was going after Hakeem Jeffries. So yes, y'all, Louise Lucas, the state senator in Portsmouth, Virginia, just got raided. FBI is everywhere. Y'all, it's not looking good. I'm not sure if she got it covered, but she does.
No, it's fine. You're overreacting. It's not that big of a deal.
Have a tobacco shop that people operate out of, and I don't know.
Yeah, so you say that, you heard that. Once again, we have Democrats showing us what they really believe, right? Which is that nobody is above the law except them, right? This woman, apparently because she's black, all this is racism, hate, and bigotry. All Trump is just targeting black women. He's just targeting Democrats, yada, yada, yada. Now, when we were complaining about political persecution, right, and targeting and retribution, when Democrats were in power, they told us that was a far-right conspiracy theory, right? Now, all of a sudden, these people, every single time a Democrat is being held accountable, right? Every single time there's a Democrat who finds out they're not above the law, now all of a sudden the tears come. It's amazing how that works. But this woman is under investigation by the FBI.
That's what happens
and
usually.
The funny part about this, all these people talking about weaponization and talking about racism, well, they should probably point a finger at the Biden administration because this started under him, right? His administration was responsible for investigating or opening up.
It doesn't matter who started it. Someone has to. The only way it's going to stop is by everyone stopping.
Corruption investigation into this woman. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
13 News Now at 4 begins with breaking news. I'm Janet Roach.
And I'm Connor Reel. There's a new development in today's FBI raid at the Portsmouth office of State Senator Louise Lucas. Sources tell ABC News that this investigation began during the Biden administration.
Yeah, it involves allegations of potential corruption and bribery tied to marijuana dispensaries.
Our crews have been in Portsmouth since
much for
agents got
tobacco.
on scene this morning. Madison Schlegel is live there now. Madison, how is the community feeling tonight?
Concern is what we're hearing for Senator Louise Lucas from those community members who are watching that raid unfold today. For much of the day today, this parking lot behind me was filled with agents. And as you can see, those agents are still here doing much of that.
See, but like her response is exactly the response that you should have, where if you've done nothing wrong, then there's no reason for you to make a big show about them doing it. Have them go in, have them film them outside going in, have them find nothing, and just continue on.
Work that investigating that they said was going to happen right here at Senator Louise Lucas's office and a business that was right next door. So this is the scene right now, but we want to show you what it looked like a little earlier too. So we only saw federal agents here, no local law enforcement. So Portsmouth Police was here briefly today just to scan the crowd of bystanders, but those officers left a while ago. But what we have seen here are FBI agents in both Senator Louise Lucas's office and the cannabis outlet, which is right next door. So we know that back in 2022, Senator Louise Lucas announced that she was opening this cannabis shop up. But for those who are out here watching that raid today, they tell us that they came out here to support Senator Lucas and the work that she's done for the community.
We are definitely aching. The city of Portsmouth has gone through so many trials and tribulations. We have the tolls, we have things that are going on in the city, and the person that is here to try to represent us, now she is being federally investigated on something of allegations which we don't know of.
Wait, hold on now. Hold on. You mean to tell me you got all these problems, but yet you are upset that the woman who's responsible for the problems is currently being investigated.
Doesn't make much
You got
sense,
all
does
these
it?
problems, but you're supporting a woman who is responsible for those problems, and you think
Or
that
at the
ain't
very least, it should be her job to address those problems, and she's not doing that either. Or if she is addressing them, she isn't addressing them in a way that's actually solving those problems.
82 years old. Again, this is an 80-plus-year-old woman, been in politics, been in power forever. Hasn't done a damn thing, right, for these people. Okay? They're still boohoo, whining, and crying, right? There's still a whole lot of problems, a whole lot of issues. Okay?
She opened up a dispensary. That's something she did.
And you're upset that she's being investigated? You support this woman? See, this is what's wrong with black folks, man. This is what's wrong. You can live in the worst conditions.
Honestly, we saw it with that one woman who went to get her hair cut at the white barbershop. They don't know any different. They don't know any different, and so because they don't know that things can be better, they just accept what they have.
These people just keep voting for it. Oh, well, she's a black woman, right?
She's done right by our community. Why would we vote against her?
When it's black people and Democrats running everything, right? It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I'm actually, the cousin of William Chapman, who got killed by the Portsmouth police. And Senator Lucas was the first one that stood behind us. So when I heard it, it broke my heart.
Now, some of those people that we've spoken with today tell us they saw the FBI put some people in handcuffs and took them away. We've reached out to the FBI to get more details on that, but they haven't been able to release any more information. On top of that, we've also reached out to Senator Louise Lucas's office to get more information or comment about this investigation. We've not yet heard back. Live in Portsmouth, Madison Schlegel, 13 News Now.
Okay, Madison, thanks for the update. And we just got a statement from Governor Abigail Spanberger's spokesperson. It says, quote, the governor is aware of today's law enforcement operation in Portsmouth. In the absence of additional details, the governor will not be commenting on a federal investigation at this time. And we'll have more reaction from Democratic lawmakers coming up at 4:30.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have asked
you see
her.
That, you heard that. It's not just her cannabis business that is facing some questions from the feds. A part of her offices also include her Medicaid business. Now, everybody should be aware of the fact that a large amount of fraud in this country that is being committed on our social safety nets comes via Medicaid and Medicare fraud scams, right? We're all familiar with the Medicaid, the healthcare fraud that has happened out in the Somali community in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we know that these programs, okay, the people who are receiving these funds, that a lot of this stuff is subject to fraud. Now, in her case, she owns Lucas Lodge, LLC. Lucas Lodge is a Medicaid waiver service for the disabled and a medical transportation company. It is Medicaid funded since 2005, has over 217 violations, online records, lists over $5 million in revenue. Now, again, this is all alleged. She bought up an entire block of homes that bill Medicaid services. 1 Google review, 0 evidence of employees except her 2 daughters. Yeah. I think there are legitimate questions about
Don't know
how much of this is fraudulent, right? Now, I'm not saying that it is for sure. I'm just saying, based off some of the stories that we covered this year involving fraudulent Medicaid businesses, I'm just saying, I think that Democrats, if they were actually honest, they should be asking questions about how is it that you have a sitting Democrat Senate president, right, in the state of Virginia. How is it not a conflict of interest to also have her receiving government funds for her Medicaid business, right? Don't you think that that's something that, I don't know, Democrats should be concerned about since they boohoo, whine, and cry so much about the alleged conflicts of interest that
I mean, do they even know what's happening?
Trump family has in the White House, right? That's all.
It's hard
I've
to
been
get
heard
mad
about,
at something
right?
that you don't know
That's
what's
what I heard
going
about from these
on.
people all the time. But yet we have somebody like her in the government, while at the same time having her businesses be funded by the government, right?
Of course. I
And you
mean,
know she got connections. You know she got pull because of her position. She's a very powerful person within the Democrat Party in the state of Virginia. So I think there are legitimate questions about her businesses. And ultimately today, it's an investigation. Judge
I don't
signed off on the
know.
raid.
I
He
mean,
said, okay.
right. I mean, that's really the thing is, do they have a warrant? What was the reason on the warrant for them to
We can do this. We were told when they raided
grab these
Mar-a-Lago that,
documents
hey,
or whatever?
judge said it's okay. So where there's smoke, there must be fire. That same logic should apply to this. Judge signed off on the raid, on the search. So, hey, where there's smoke, there must be fire. Let the
I
investigation
don't
play
know,
out.
right?
We will see.
We'll find out.
If
Well,
there are
see,
charges
again,
that
just when it's Donald Trump having Mar-a-Lago raided, it's completely fine and acceptable. But for some reason, the FBI can't raid anyone else. That's some sort of crime against people of positions of authority in the state. When it just
ultimately brought against this individual, this Democrat. But again, I'm sick and tired of hearing these people boohoo, whine, and cry about retribution, political persecution every single time a Democrat is held accountable. Ultimately, Democrats are not above
when they sit here and gleefully talk about how they want Trump to be under investigation, how they want him to be. I mean, they think he was involved in Epstein. They want him to be tried for having information about Epstein and what he was doing and not coming forward with the information sooner. These are people who would gladly do anything that they could to see him either arrested or forced out of office. Sitting here complaining about having government systems being weaponized against them.
law. We can't do this thing where every single time a Democrat is being held accountable, people want to cry foul. Again, it's almost as if these people don't believe
and act like it's some sort of criminal action.
Democrats.
Just you can't only have faith in the system when it works for you. If you don't, you especially have to have faith in the system when it's working against you. And if you don't, then it can't function, because it can't work only for you and not for everyone else, or for you and against other people. It can't claim to represent you, who thinks that it's okay to tax the billionaires, but not the billionaires who may or may not think that it's okay that they're being taxed more. The billionaires are just as much citizens as you are. If you're going to attack them and not get their input, then you are not representing them. You are not doing your job.
Accountable, that they can't commit crimes, that they should be allowed to freely get away with crimes, right? I feel like that is what they believe at this point. If there's nothing
That is what
there,
they believe.
then there's nothing to worry about. But if there's something there, then there's certainly something to worry about. And that is why you have so much boohoo, whine, and cry about this, because there's likely something there. But we're going to see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Again, if she hasn't done anything wrong, then there shouldn't be any problems. If she's been on the level and everything has been fine, then this investigation should reveal nothing, and it will have just been an enormous waste of time. I don't know why you're upset. I mean, people were taken away, people were arrested, so I'm not quite sure about that. But again, no one in the news actually talked to this woman to see what her side of the story was. So I have no idea. I don't know. Granted, I guess she's under investigation. What she can talk about is probably, until she talks with a lawyer, is probably, up to debate for questionable, but I don't know.